All right, I don't believe we talked about this earlier in the year. It's the idea called scaling, which will mean absolutely nothing to you, and it doesn't need to have any real meaning to you as far as the terminology. But what we're going to talk about is recognizing your answer and deciding if it is going to be bigger or smaller. Did we talk about scaling?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now, we have talked in the past that when you multiply a number, as the number you're multiplying a number by gets bigger, what happens to your answer? The answer gets bigger. For example, if we have 5 times 0, well, 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. And likewise, as the number gets smaller, as the number you're multiplying gets smaller, so does your answer. And we've also talked about the fact that if we had a number line, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If we had the fraction 3/5, where does 3/5 go on our number line? Landon?
Between the 0 and the 1?
It goes between the 0 and the 1, somewhere in around there. So if we were to take 5 or 3/5 times 5, what would we know about our answer? Alyssa?
It would be
Less
less than 1.
than 1?
It would
It would be
be less than 5.
less than 5. It would be somewhere between 5 and 0, because 3/5 is less than 1, but it's greater than 0. Okay? Does that make sense? Now, if we have an improper fraction, six-fifths. Where does 6/5 go in our number line? Declan?
Between the 10 and 5?
No. In our number line. Where would 6/5 go?
Between the 1 and the 2.
It would go somewhere between the 1 and the 2. How do you know that? Steph. And what does an improper fraction mean? We would divide the top by the bottom, because when you have an improper fraction, when we change it, it's going to become a what? Landon?
Whole number.
Not just a whole number. It could be a whole number, but
A mixed number?
a mixed number. And so when we have an improper fraction, if we divide the top by the bottom, 5 goes into 6 one time. 1 times 5 is 5. Subtract, you get 1. That 1 is your numerator. Denominator is 5. And so the improper fraction 6/5 is the same as 1 1/5. And so an improper fraction is greater than 1. So if we took 5 times 6/5, what do we know about our answer? If we take 5 times the improper fraction 6/5, what do we know about our answer? It's going to be greater than 5. Because this improper fraction is equal to a mixed number that is greater than 1. Does that make sense? Now, let's say we take 6, we've been using 5. How about we take 5 times 3/3? Well, we take 5 times 3/3. What's going to happen to our answer? Dakota? Johnny? What do you mean it turns into a whole number?
The 3.
We'll come back to you. If we take 5 times 3/3, what's going to happen to our answer? Declan?
Won't the 5 times the 3/3, wouldn't that equal 5?
Exactly, it stays the same. Why? Why does it not change, Shayna?
Because the 3/3 is equal to 1.
Because this fraction here, 3/3, is equal to 1. If you take 5 times 3, let's just do it once. 5 times 3 is 15. 1 times 3 is 3. We have the improper fraction, so we divide the top by the bottom. And 3 goes into 15 5 times. It doesn't change. What about 7/7? 7/7 is the same as 1. Anytime that the numerator and the denominator are the exact same, it is the same as 1 whole. So whenever we're looking at what's going to happen to a number when we multiply, if we take, let's say, 2 times 1/2, how is that answer going to compare to 2? If you take 2 times 1/2, where does 1/2 fall in our number line? Between the 0 and the 1. So, when we multiply 2 times a number that is less than 1, what's going to happen to our answer?
It's going to be less than 1.
It's going to get, not less than 1, it's going to be less than 2. So, 2 times that 1/2 is going to be what compared to 2? This answer is going to be what compared to the 2?
Less than.
It's going to be less than. Because the fraction 1/2 is less than 1. Let's say we take 2 times 3/2, and we compare that to 2. When we take 2 times 3/2, how is that answer going to compare to 2? It's going to be greater than, because this improper fraction means a mixed number that is greater than 1. Does that make sense? And if we take 2 times 2/2, how is that going to compare to 2? Colton? You don't have a clue because you're worried about drawing on your notebook instead of paying attention. Johnny?
Wouldn't it be like equals?
It would be equal. Because 2/2 is the same as 1 whole. Does that make sense? So now, let's say we have this. If we take the fraction 3/4 times 2/3, how is that answer going to compare to 3/4?
It's going to be less than.
It's going to be less than. Why?
Because 2/3 is smaller than 3.
Because that is less than 1. Let's say we had 4/9 times 5/3. And we compare that to 4/9. 4/9 times 5/3. That answer is going to be what compared to the 4/9? Aiden?
Greater.
It is going to be greater. Why?
Because 5/3 is bigger.
Because 5/3 is greater than 1. Five sevenths times 8/8. How is that going to compare to 5/7? Alyssa?
It's going to be equal to.
Why is it going to be equal to?
Because 8/8 is the same as 1.
Because 8/8 is equal to 1. Okay? So, when we're talking about scaling, when we're talking about scaling. When you multiply with a fraction that's less than 1, what happens to your answer?
It's smaller than the number that you multiplied with.
The answer gets smaller. When you multiply with an improper fraction, what's going to happen to your answer? And if you multiply with a fraction that's equal to 1, the answer is going to stay the same. Okay? Questions about that? Now, they might try to trick you. They might give you something like this. One half times 5/3. How does that answer compare to 5/3? Alyssa, why is it going to be less than? Because the 1/2 is less than 1. Now we're comparing what's happening to the, what we're taking times the 5/3. We're taking times the 1/2. Make sense? And if we have we have 9/7 times 8/5. How is that answer going to compare to 8/5? Declan?
It's greater than?
Why is it going to be bigger?
Because 9/7 is bigger.
Because 9/7 is greater than 1. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay? Get out your boards. I want you to write the problem down just like I write it down. Okay? I want you to write it down like that. 5 times 3/5, a box, and then a 5. And I want you to put the correct sign. And then let me see your boards. Dakota, we're taking 5 times what?
3/5.
Now, is 3/5 bigger or smaller than 1? Since this is smaller than 1, what's going to happen to our answer? It's going to get smaller, and so our answer will be less than 5. Okay? Let's do this one. Write it down just like that. 7 times 9/7, box, 7. And then write the correct sign. Okay, Colton. When we take 7 times 9/7, that 9/7 is what? Greater than 1. So what's going to happen to our answer? It's going to get bigger. And so when you take 7 times 9/7, that answer is going to be bigger than 7. Let's do this one. 15 times 11/11. Compare that to 15. And Owen, what's going to happen to our answer? Why is it going to be equal? Because 11/11 is the same as 1. Let's do this one. Seven ninths times 3/4. Put a box, and then 3/4. And tell me how the answers compare. What are we taking times 3/4 on them? 7 ninths. 7 ninths is what?
Less than 1.
7 ninths is less than 1. So what's going to happen to our answer?
It's going to be smaller.
It's going to get smaller. Let's do this one. 9/8 times 1/2. How does that compare to 1/2? Our answer, we want to compare it to 1/2. So what do we take in 1/2 times, Colton?
9/8.
We're taking times 9/8. What do we know about 9/8?
It is more than 1.
It is greater than 1. So what's that mean about our answer?
It will be greater than
It's going to be bigger than 1/2. Okay? The important thing is not to rush through it. Don't make a careless mistake. Now, I'm going to give you this. All I want you to do, all that I want you to do is to write it either a fraction or an improper fraction that could go in that blank to make that statement true. What could go in the blank? And Shayna, what needs to go in a blank?
7,000.
Some people put 7/7. Some put 6/6. Some put 21/21. As long as it is a fraction, at a rate, as long as it is a fraction that is equal to 1 whole. Okay? Do this one. Nine fifths times something is less than 9/5. Write what could go in that blank. 9/5 times what is less than 9/5. Write down a fraction that could go in that blank. What do you have, Alyssa? Don't do too much work this week. And what has to go in that blank? Aiden?
Something that is a fraction that is less than 1.
Has to be less than?
9.
Just has to be what step? Where the numerator is less than the denominator. Any fraction where the numerator is smaller than the denominator. Okay? Because we need to get an answer smaller. Well, if you take 9/5 times 1, it equals 9/5. So to get an answer that is smaller, we need to take it times a fraction that is less than 1. Make sense? And so 1/2, 2/3, 1/21. There's a million of them. There's an unlimited number of them. Okay? Does this make sense? Okay? Your homework. Two through 18 even. I don't need mine. 2 through 18 even. And then 19 and 20. Now, if we read the directions. Let's look at the directions. It says predict whether the product will be greater than or less than the second factor. Or it could even be equal to. Okay? Greater than, less than, or equal to. So where it says my prediction, all you're going to write is greater than, less than, or equal to. Does that make sense? And then they want you to actually solve it. And get rid of, don't leave your answer as an improper fraction. Okay? So, what's the first thing you're going to do? Where it says my prediction, you're going to write greater than, less than, or equal to. And then, in the next line, where they give you the multiplication problem in a blank space, I want you to write the correct answer. Make sure that you get rid of improper fractions. And make sure it's in simplest form. Any questions? Go ahead.